See, we got M.M Out There, over there, everywhere, all over the place. We're back here with part 2 as we're reviewing the performance of Colin Jordan, representative for St. Peter, among other things. I'm talking with the Apostle Leroy Scantlebury, he who ran in the last 2 general elections, and I'm welcoming him back. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Before we ended, you were talking about things that a government say it's not good or whatever, but then they destroy it along that same vein. Remember those constituency councils?
Yes.
That the BLP were so adamant against? Do they still exist?
No, I don't see many of them in operation today.
But no, whether they're in operation or not, do the constituency councils exist?
No.
They don't exist anymore.
No. That was, as you would know, that was under the Democratic Labour Party.
Yes.
They're not the government today, so,
Mm-hmm.
right. That's something that the Barbados Labour Party will have to implement, that kind of strategy. Now, when I go back to talk about visionary leadership, and what makes me, smile sometimes when I look at the reality of this. Now, here's the thing. Under visionary leadership, one of the keys in my time of studying history and empires, from the Roman Empire to the Byzantine Empire, that one of the keys that are developed usually are your arts, your culture, and building.
Mm-hmm.
And so in each of the empire, those 3 things are synonymous.
Especially the Roman Empire.
Especially the Roman Empire. Mm-hmm. Prolific builders.
Yeah.
You're talking about aqueducts to bring water from miles away.
And those arches.
They're talking about architecture on an amazing level. Mm-hmm. Structures that when you really think did men actually build these things?
Yeah.
Actually,
Augustus Caesar was responsible for a lot of that. He was very much
a lot of the building.
Yeah.
He was also responsible for bringing the first worldwide taxation plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The second person to do it was Cyrenius,
mm-hmm.
when he was king of Judah. He did that during the year Jesus was born.
Yeah.
So that was the second time the whole world was taxed.
Yeah, that's one of the reason they were heading towards the headquarters to pay the taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Brought a lot of wealth into the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about culture, we're talking about development of art, we're talking about building. Now, when you look back over, Tom Adams built stuff. You look at Errol Barrow built things. You look at even Sir Lloyd Erskine Sandiford, who was the Sherborne Conference Center was his brainchild that people call a white elephant, which now is one of the premier conference facilities in Barbados and in the Caribbean.
Number one.
Okay?
Number one.
We're talking building. I look back over on Arthur. What did he build?
The wharf in 6 months?
What did he build?
Did he build that wharf?
And these are things that I'm not talking about,
I know, I said that in jest. There's a bit of levity.
I'm talking about things that our people can look at and be proud of.
Yeah.
That we can use.
These are legends.
And these are the kind of things that even now our present Prime Minister this morning must be careful that she does not fall into the trap that unsuccessful prime ministers across our nation have fallen into. And I think it's very important right now to look at things that will move Barbados forward. I mean, building the Hyatt is not going to advance the people of Barbados. It may advance Barbados'
reputation
as a nation, but not the people.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that when you look back over the, Errol Barrow, the issue, and I was talking to a gentleman whose pastor was very close to Errol Barrow, and he said one of the problems that people have, and he says he knew Errol Barrow personally, talked with him, being with his house and did things with him. He said Mr. Barrow never wanted free education. Mr. Barrow wanted freedom through education. He wanted his people educated so they could be free. They could use their education to free themselves. The political parties over the years took it and turned it into free education. And that has corrupted.
Just
That
like,
has corrupted our
just like when
education.
they were saying that he said that he wouldn't like to see a cane blade or something like that.
Totally misunderstood because Mr. Barrow knew, number one, who was controlling the sugar industry. He knew that the sugar industry was not in the hands of the people of Barbados, which is one of the reasons why Sir Hilary Beckles wrote his book on corporate power in Barbados, The Mutual Affair, which is a book that was taken off the shelves in Barbados, and I really don't know why, because it outlines the history of a certain sector of our country controlling what was happening. He documents in that book what happened in 1937 with the riots. What's the real reason why those people barricaded those folk in the Mutual building on Lower Broad Street, and they were going to burn it because they understood that's the kind of Barbadian, let me say, ancestry that we need today. We need our people to be proactive. Okay?
So do you actually think that as well the children in school should be learning about these things?
I think it's very important for us because to take these things away from, and I'm going to bring this up to you to show you why. I was talking to a gentleman. I want you to listen to this because, you know, a lot of people are angry with me because in my ministry, I minister a message on prosperity. I believe that every person has the right to prosper and should prosper. All right? And he was telling me about a situation that he had at a school with his son and a little white boy that was in his at the school. They were both on a particular team at the school. And for some reason, the little white boy came to him one day. The little black boy is very good at what he does. So the little white boy came to him over by him a day and just slapped him on his foot like that. And so they ended up in the principal's office about it. And the principal, this is what the gentleman told me, the principal, he came to the school, the boy's mom came to the school. They asked him why he did it. He said his grandfather told him, if you want to keep a black person down, you mash them on their feet.
And he took it literally.
He took it literally.
Yes.
If you want to keep a black person down, you mash them on their feet.
And the youngster not actually knowing he heard what the grandfather said, but he took it literally.
Okay. Now, here's the reality of this that's happening. If you want to keep Bajans down, you keep money from them. In 25 years, which is what we have to understand, in 25 years of the Barbados Labour Party, having 15 of the most prosperous years this country has ever seen, okay, between 1994 2007, okay, 15 years of the most prosperous years our island has seen. 10 years under the recent Democratic Labour Party, that's 25 years. In 25 years, not one government has raised minimum wages.
And that's reprehensible.
Okay, in 25 years. I think our people need to wake up and realize
Apostle, what is the minimum wage right now?
I think the minimum wage in Barbados is $1.75. I think that's the minimum wage.
So $1.75 you mean an hour?
That's it.
$1.75 an hour.
$1.75.
$1.75 an hour, and if you work 8 hours a day. So what? And this bus fare? You're working for bus fare?
Well, now I was just about to talk to you about the whole bus fare issue. Okay, you're not raising minimum wages, but you're raising other things to take money from people.
Yes.
Okay, you haven't improved your bus service, so it's not value. You're not paying for value.
The bus service has gotten worse.
Okay, so these are some of the things that I ask people to look at. I'm not, it's okay if they're judgmental, but look at the average person. What's happening with the average person? You cannot make it in Barbados. Here's the deal. We do not have our own banks. Okay? We do not have our own facilities really to train our people and do the things that are necessary. We're not redeveloping. Like, for instance, I said that one of the things that I would like to see in education is an institution between primary and secondary school. In other words, if we have children that
are buffer in between
that are proving that they are advanced, then you take them out of the regular school system, you put them there. Okay? If they're showing signs of a greater ability there, you begin to bring in the secondary work there in advance. You see what they're capable of doing. You advance the student into the next level.
Yeah, in some countries they call those type of students gifted students. Gifted.
We have a lot of gifted students here in Barbados.
Okay.
I think it's important even in our primary schools to find out what our kids want to be and begin to tailor education to match that, so that by age 25, 26, you're now finishing University of the West Indies. Now you have to look for work because you can't get it. You need at least 5 years experience for certain levels in Barbados. I think to advance individuals, when I was a little boy, there was a show that showed very, very connected to it called Doogie Howser MD.
Yeah, Doogie Howser MC. This guy is quite young, He's quite young.
Yeah, Doogie
Howser.
Howser.
Doogie Howser MC was just the other day.
1970s, 1980s.
No, not the 1970s. Yeah. The late 1980s. I think it's the 1990s as well.
Right.
But you go ahead.
And so Doogie Howser MD, very interesting, a young boy who went through
surgeon or something like that.
High school. Yeah, went through high school in 9 weeks. Graduated from Princeton when he was 10 years old. By age 14, he had his doctor's license, was a medical practitioner.
Yeah.
And that's because what you saw there was, a prodigy. You saw someone who was advancing, so the system did not slow him down. This is what's happening in Barbados. We have this old English system that is constantly slowing people down in a different time, a different age, a different world, and not allowing individuals to prosper and to move ahead. And this is what both the Democratic Labour Party and the Barbados Labour Party have been successful in doing. Slowing Barbados down and taking away the future of the people of Barbados from them. And we have to open our eyes and realize that that's what's happening. That's the big picture.
Well said, Apostle. We are coming to the end of our show. The time goes so very quickly. So, in my opinion, Colin Jordan, stay here. You're falling far off the mark. You're not up to par. Making speeches in the newspaper or on television does not cut it. That's like being a movie star. We need to see some action. And we need to see action in St. Peter. Right? Not meeting with this. I saw you in the advocate today. Shaking somebody's hand. I didn't even read the story because it didn't make any sense at all. I want to see you doing something, not being a movie star or, acting up to the press. Do something. Visit the people in St. Peter. Remember that they're the people who voted you in.
That's correct.
Something which you didn't deserve anyhow. You don't deserve it. Yeah. Right?
As I said, Mr. I'm not against Mr.
Jordan.
I'm not against.
I'm not against Jordan.
As a resident of St. Peter, and I've known him for years. I'm not against him. But what I am for is the betterment of the people in St. Peter.
This should be utmost. This should be utmost in his mind.
Exactly. So any attempt to downplay or downgrade the people of St. Peter, that's something that I'm going to be upset about.
Yes, Mr. Jordan, anything that you do, regardless of what it is, from the time you start to do it, the first thing you should be studying is St. Peter. How can I relate this to St. Peter? How can I make this a benefit to St. Peter?
How do we get jobs in St. Peter? How do we improve our schools?
Things like that.
How do we advance our schools? How do we get our kids off the block? How do we change the culture?
Things like that.
How do we help our elderly? These are things that we've talked about in our campaign, and I think the time has come. And again, on this point, the people of St. Peter deserves better.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Time to go.
Pleasure talking to you, Mr.
Always.
Yes, sir.
M.M Out There, here, there, everywhere, all over the place, gone. Till next time.